Well, I, for one, have always loved a good theme party. But have you ever thought about bringing a theme to your business plan? If anyone can make it happen, it is certainly our business coaches from Take Action, Pete McDowell and Peg Burley, here once again to impart their wisdom on us. We always love to hear it. So thank you guys for being back with us.
Thank you, Robyn. Good to be here.
All right, so you guys like coaching themes. So when we talk about business, what exactly does that look like? It's obviously not like an 80s party, right? I mean, so how do you take that into the business
That's
world?
good, though.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about those things. So what we like to do is sometimes to spur some action or a little change from our group of clients that week, we'll come up with a theme.
Okay, so what are we
really
looking at
look
then?
At things differently.
I was going to just say, is that help them think outside of the box, which I know you guys talk about a lot, being kind of the toughest thing, right? To get people out of their comfort zone?
Right. Well, one thing, we'll give you an example that happened last week when we brought this up. So last week's coaching, Brad Sugars, who is the founder of ActionCOACH, did a video on Facebook, and it was 5 minutes on how to hire. Like if I had to walk away with, I think it was 3 to 5 points of what to do when you're hiring. These are things that we're talking to our clients with. Also, they were things that we were talking throughout the week. So we said, everybody, we want you to watch this video. It's 5 minutes, and then take action on it. And so talk about what happened.
Well, we have one client who is needed to hire a second salesman for quite a long time, and he actually made an offer to someone after watching Brad's video. It spurred him into actually taking action. He was uncomfortable, but big changes come from being a little uncomfortable.
And one of the things you do say that can be put kind of on any business is that growth comes from change. That's exactly that kind of theme that you were talking about. And sometimes people see change, and we'll say as like a 4-letter word, right? Like, this is so bad, I don't want to talk about this. How do you help get past that resistance? Does this create, I guess, That's
a good question. A lot of times when you're looking at resistance, we really want to look at, number one, is can we paint a vision of it's not that bad, and how to do it. So the video in this case lent them to say, okay, this is the process I'll go through. But also it's just, a lot of times it could be peer pressure. We have a community of clients that all get together, and then when we say, well, Pete did it, well, and Robyn's doing it, and then we can have that as an opportunity to talk to each other, it doesn't seem as scary. So we do that as well.
So peer pressure is not always bad.
Yes, right.
Right.
And sometimes we have to talk to clients about get them to the point where they're dissatisfied with where they currently are, or where they might be if they don't change anything. So what will it look like in 2 years if you haven't really worked on this problem?
Another thing you guys say is a theme: happiness comes from acceptance.
Right, and we say that as well as be careful of expectations. And meaning that sometimes you're going to let yourself down, and there's some things you can't control. And you have a great example of that happened with a client recently last week, or was it a couple weeks ago, when you just said, this isn't going to change and you can't change it.
Oh, certainly. There are certain things in a business where you have to look at it and say, can I personally, or maybe even my direct reports, directly affect what's going on with this individual organization? If you really can't, then you need to figure out a way to go around it and ignore it, or just work with it.
Like, you've got to adapt, right? Like,
exactly.
It almost feels like, and just kind of thinking about this, like the Serenity Prayer.
Yes,
right? It's kind of like the change what I can, accept what I cannot. I mean, and that's kind of in general the way people should live, the way people should, work their business.
And we had a client, this happened to, that needed a new production manager. It was in another state, and he did find that person, that production manager. It took him 8 months. And it was just the most tragic thing. The first week he was there, he had a heart attack and died. It took him almost a year to get this gentleman in. One of the things he had to come at peace with is he had lost a person who, that was, he couldn't change that.
Right.
He also allowed his team to come up and accept it, but it was a really big thing that he had to just accept, because he kept saying, all the...
Right, he needed to accept it to move on. And that was probably the hardest thing to do.
What are we going to put our focus and attention and energy on? Is it something that happened that we can't control, or something we might be able to control now, and what we do today? And
is that almost like what that acceptance is? It's then putting their thoughts to what needs to happen.
That's it, focus.
Right?
Creating focus to get results. And that's how we create profit in company, and that's how we get companies to be happy.
I was just going to say, the growth, the acceptance, I mean, it all comes in stages, as well as, these themes do denote how you're going to get to the successful end, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, Peg and Pete, the other thing is you tailor everything to a company's needs. So if anybody out there is interested, they just kind of give you a phone call and start things off?
Right, absolutely. You can go to our website and or give us a phone call, and it's a 10-minute conversation to see what makes sense for you.
Okay, there you go. It is Take Action Business Coaches, and takeactionbusinesscoaching.com is a website you can go to. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much.